Dear Lord, as we gather today in friendship, let us commit ourselves to service to others across our town, service to the purpose that unites us in a common goal, and service that brings each of us our purpose and our own meaning. We ask this in your name. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll. Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Welcome all. It's every week we seem to be having more and more people here, and it's exciting to see. So thank you all for coming. We do have one add-on resolution at the end, which we'll get to before new business, and that's add-on resolution number 1, and it relates to the purchase of a fuel tank for the highway department. And it's a slight change, and when we get to it, our town attorney will be discussing why there's a change to the 5,000, 7,000 gallon split from the 5,000. So we'll add that on at the end. In the meantime, I'll start with town council reports, and I'll start on my left with Councilman Galewski.
Just to report that I had a great time participating in the 4th of July parade over in Outlaws. My wife and I and our daughter also went on July 3rd over to the kids fair, and she had a great time participating in that as well. It's a wonderful event. It was nice to have kind of be back to a sense of normalcy. Not to say that last year wasn't great doing the parade comes to you format that COVID kind of forced us into, but this was a lot of fun. It's a fantastic event. It's a community event. It's great to celebrate our freedom and our country, and really enjoyed partaking. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Martin.
I want to echo a little thing on the outlaw portion. It's wonderful to have that in-person for this week and have representation to the residents up and down the street as we go along. It was a wonderful day, good weather as always, thank God. And, it was a lot of fun, and it's good to have it back for 4th of July.
Thank you. Councilman Aragosa.
Beyond that, continue to get involved with the capital, the cafeteria group and the Festa House. The community is still out there, although it's somewhat different, but it's there. Next Monday night, we'll be in the back half of the month. We're going to have to take first time live, which is very exciting to me, and I'm sure a lot of us guys see that next 3 years in a row, and all of a sudden now. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, we have privilege of the floor. I will open privilege of the floor, and we'll see if anyone is signed up. Privilege of the floor is now open. If no one is signed up, so anyone in the room that wishes to speak at privilege of the floor, if you raise your hand, we'll call you to the podium and you can address the board. Privilege of the floor is now open. Going once, going twice. Seeing none. Privilege of the floor is now closed. Supervisors' comments to the board. I do not have a lot of comments to the board tonight. I just want to remind folks that we are putting on our Thursdays in the Park, which you'll see a resolution on that again this year. There's a lot of folks who are excited about it. We've confirmed that we do have free Stewart's ice cream at every single event here in Indian Meadows. It's every Thursday in August and the first Thursday in September this year. And it starts at 7. The first concert is 18 Strings of Trouble. That's sponsored by the Scotia Bid, and it is also a food truck night if the resolution passes tonight. Food Daddy will be there for folks to come and get dinner and enjoy. Two Shoes Trio is August 12th. That's sponsored by Senator Jim Tedisco and Assemblymember Mary Beth Walsh. August 19th is the Dixie Niski Cats. August 26th is the 2096 Band. That's sponsored by This Will Be Perfect Artisan Boutique right across the street here. September 2nd is a kids movie, Tom and Jerry, sponsored by the Glenville Town Fire Chiefs and the Glenville PBA. So more announcements will be coming shortly on sponsors and on other food opportunities in the park. But it's a great opportunity for our residents, and I've heard a lot of folks asking about it, so spread the word. And also the other great venue in our community, and I saw Councilman Galuski down there the other night, is Freedom Park. They have a great lineup this year. We enjoyed a concert at Grand Central Station the other night. It was packed and it was a beautiful night. I think it was one of the few when it didn't rain. But check out Freedom Park. It's also a great venue for folks. So during these summer months, I just wanted to report on some of the things going on. And just one other thing, because it struck me when I was in Collins Park and over in Berkeley Square, the gypsy moth issue is now at the stage where folks can do something about what's going on. If you see a tree with the moth on the tree and with the egg mass, that's your opportunity. If you can kill one of those egg masses, that's 1,000 caterpillars that you're taking out of circulation next year. So. Well, that's good. There's a whole way that you can do it. Vicky's very well versed on it. We have it on our website. We'll be doing some more kind of just education, reminding residents that this is your opportunity. But if you don't want to scrape them off with a knife and put them in soapy water and any of that stuff, DEC says horticultural oil, if you apply onto the egg mass, will suffocate the eggs. And we will be taking a lot of problems next spring out of play if we can get as many of those as possible. So I just want to remind folks of that.
If you look up, if you have oaks and marbles, you look up at the bottom of the 30 sort of branches that grow out of it. And you look at the bottom, and that's where they lay them or put them because it's kind of dead.
So
hopefully the fungus and everything that this was talking about is doing doing.
and if you can't get there, you can always get a tree service. They can get into the higher areas, but there's a lot of low picking. There's a lot of them low. So whatever you can do.
The other thing I know is they tend to kind of colonize the regular.
Yeah.
They do
The females do not leave the tree. So the female's on the tree, the male comes to the tree, the male flutters around. That's who you see fluttering around. But, and I think that's why one of the residents said that if you can kill the females, you've gone a long way to stopping the cycle. So it's harder to get the one fluttering than the one who's sitting there not moving, I guess. So with that, that's all I really wanted to comment on tonight. We'll move into the resolutions. I have my first resolution here, 7, authorizing the application for financial assistance from the New York State Office of Parks for the purpose of funding the Yates Mansion restoration. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, this is the first of a series of resolutions the town is participating in what is called the New York State Consolidated Funding Application Program. We have the next, this and the next 4 resolutions are talking about initiatives ranging from funding of the restoration of the Yates Mansion restoration to the Veterans Memorial Park, preparation of accelerated plans for Veterans Memorial Park. Now let's get with Park the neighborhood connected trail, the Deer Road Greenway project, and now it's part kayak. So I'm gonna ask, our community development director, Moses, Trevino, on this one in the next slide, just give us a quick, summation of those, applications for the benefit of the public here and watching, on video.
I can do it for you, Melissa. Yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay.
Unless you want to come up here and speak very loudly into that microphone. So this one is, just as you said, Councilor Martin, this is the application that's going to fund, hopefully, further work on the Yates Mansion. We don't have a dollar amount on it just yet because that is being worked on by Barton and Judas. And so we should have that shortly. But this would be phased work, which hasn't been determined yet as we sit here. But we know that the next couple of things we have after the windows are put in and after it's been stabilized is now we're looking at getting utilities in there, heating, cooling, electric, plumbing, all those types of things. We still need to restore the salt box on the back of it after we took down the later additions. And then start really closing in the rooms and using it and start programming space. I don't see us programming space immediately. I see us getting it more where we're able to get some utilities in there and get it going with this grant. And then hopefully that becomes a later project of starting the programming, getting the drywall up and all that type of stuff. A reminder, it's on both the state and federal historic registry, so we have to do everything to historic accuracy and with permission and oversight. And we are looking at, as we've been working on this, and why it's taking some time, because some people have asked that question, is we're working really dedicating grants to this project. And really, we're committed to having this project done with 90% grants or outside money. Yes, yeah, 150,000, Tedisco 50,000. The community has another 20 or 25,000. So a lot of it has been grants, and that's what we're working towards, is making sure it's funded mostly by grants. Even though the reality is we need that more than ever. We need that space. We are out of space in our history center. The history center is failing on us, and that is going to be our new history center. And so we're going to do it as quickly as we can, but as much possible with grants.
I look forward to the day that we can let the town board.
Oh, that'd be nice.
By candlelight, we'll
By
do it.
candlelight. Oh, and I should,
Yeah.
not germane to the resolution necessarily, but just as a really cool thing, we were contacted by a group that does these like videos of concerts, and they do them in these like really cool locations, and they asked us permission to do it in Yates Mansion, a video in Yates Mansion, a concert, and a concert in Green Corner Schools, and Green's Corner School. I think it's kind of cool because, they recognize it as interesting properties. And it will help us get the word out more on those. All right, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution authorizing the application to the same agency regarding the Veterans Memorial Park. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second? Moved and seconded. This is one of my most favorite of applications that we are putting in, and one that we have been working very hard with a very dedicated group of veterans on this. But this would help us begin to fund what will become our Veterans Memorial Park and land, which is dedicated through the Plan Development District that we approved 2 years ago now, maybe a year and a half ago, prior to COVID. PC, prior to COVID, unfortunately. So this will be putting in for a grant to authorize that application to begin work on that with the understanding that the deed still needs to be secured and easement granted, and that we will hopefully have that at the time of funding, or at least have some, assurances from the developer that that will take place if this grant goes in before that happens. Any other questions or comments on that? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution authorizing the submittal of the 2019 consolidated funding application for the Van Buren Road Greenway project. Do you have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this? Same thing, we are looking at continuing to work on developing our Greenway plan, which we've all been dedicated to for some time now. Wait a minute. This is the Van Buren. Oh, did I skip over the Malick Park?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want me to do? You want me to go back and reintroduce this or just take up the next? All right, so we're on 10, folks. On 10. And then we're gonna go back to 9. So this one, same thing, is regarding our participation in New York State Climate Smart Communities Program. And this is for us to take advantage of free technical assistance provided through this program. And this would allow us to essentially allow me to act as behalf of the submittal application for the CFA application of $611,000 to be used for the Van Buren Greenway project. Any questions or comments on that? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. We're going to back up to resolution 9 regarding the purpose of funding the Melwick Park Neighborhood Connector Trail. Do we have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second? Moved and second. As I started to say, part of the Glenville Greenway plan, this will help us to try to connect, which has been a big goal of ours in the town, Melwick Park to the community, both the town below the avenue, as it's referred to, and also the village of Scotia, to have a pedestrian trail that connects the park to that neighborhood. This will again allow us to go forward with the grant application for the Melwick Park Neighborhood Connector Trail. Do I have a motion? I do, we do, yeah. And any, yep. We do not have a specific access yet, correct? We've had a few different, we went down a few different paths, no pun intended. But each one we've had to go to different ways, and so we're still not there yet. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Resolution 11, authorizing the application through the New York State Canal Corp. under the Canal Way Communities Grant for the purpose of a Melwick Park kayak launch. Do I have a motion? I have a second.
I'll second.
Moved in second. So just as it says, and just as we've been talking about, this is another application that we're putting in through the CFA for a Melwick Park kayak launch. And this would allow us to put that application forward. Any questions or comments?
I just want to add one information out that we're at the end of our grant resolutions, and then for the benefit of the public. The reason why you're seeing this flurry of resolutions related to the grant application is, as I said, this is the consolidated funding application process, which has a firm and fixed application deadline of July 30th. So this is our final meeting before that submission date, so we're trying to get all these resolutions authorizing the submission. And then furthermore, for your information, the way the program works is they go off to the capital region for review. We're part of the capital region. From there, they go on to the governor consideration. And that review process for the state takes about several months between now and the beginning of December. And so we should know whether we receive funding award by early December, certainly before Christmas. So the most progressive stance I can remember in terms of grant applications. Having signed like this, I want to thank Melissa for her work, Chris for his work, and I know we had a consultant help as well. And so that's what puts us in a position to be so competitive. And hopefully we receive all these awards, but if we can even get, you know, as many as 2 or 3, that would be great. So that's the program going forward, and hopefully we'll have some good news by early.
Thank you for clarifying that.
And if I may, just to speak generally, I mean, obviously what we're looking at is reaching out to you know, governments above us looking for money to help and assist community development. And anytime we can get money and bring money in, you know, for our community or, you know, other communities do this as well, it's certainly a positive thing. So we're hoping for a good result here, and you know, obviously thank you to Melissa and thank you to everybody that participated in helping us reach out on this. It's really good.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 12, accepting the ADA transition plan prepared by Chazen. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, and Supervisor, this is accepting the plan that was previously presented to us at our meeting on June 16th. And it outlines our plans and intentions for making this town more friendly for movement of people with disabilities and their ability to move through the community as anybody else is. And it's a very important plan. It may be subtle, but anytime you see a drop curve at a sidewalk crossing or something like that, it's this kind of plan that goes in place now that provides that inclusive of you know, freedom of movement. And that's what we're all anxious to see. And when we have the ability now, we have the plan in place, and you'll see some of the initiatives, both in terms of grant applications and public works programs that now implement that plan. And this is where it all starts. And I'm happy to accept this plan, and I want to thank again the work that came out of our community development office and help us cases.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
With this plan, you're going to build a new building for the town of Glenville. You have to inform which takes those private dollars and make those dollars partner with it's a big deal, not just in terms of money from federal and state funds, but it's a big deal in terms of how development happens throughout the country. So in other words, totally
I don't want to interrupt, but I don't think that's accurate.
No.
No. It was my understanding it related to sidewalk and those public improvements.
So you're saying that if a new development comes in, they don't have to. No, that's part of the building.
Yeah, the ADA is part of the building.
Sorry, part of it.
Yeah.
And that's what they got to do for the building for the private side. This is really in the public realm, the public right of way. Particularly those areas of the public right of way that haven't.
Oh, go ahead.
So without this, we were able to give everything that.
It's just a plan. It's a plan to go forward.
It's not getting
A
away
guide.
from it.
Yeah.
It's correct. Look at the areas of the town that are not served in this capacity.
So, right, so if I can, so things are grandfathered. Example is the sidewalks out here, a lot of the money that put the sidewalks out on town center were ADA monies that we got. But there might be somewhere in the town that the sidewalk or the walkway or whatever was built prior to the ADA, and so they kind of grandfathered in. This just gives us the ability to look at all of that and try to fix where there's deficiencies.
And also we're logical connections to the current.
Yeah.
You know, for future public works projects. If we have a new sidewalk, that we can establish in those areas, we have a continuation of the handicap accessibility to the world.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 13, authorizing the waiver for certain Glenville Park rules in order to conduct Thursdays in the park, Oktoberfest. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second? Moved in second. Any discussion?
Mr. Supervisor, a resolution near and dear to my heart. One that is essentially enabling us to waive the rules for in order to serve alcohol in the parks for the Thursday in the Park event that you previously mentioned, and also the Oktoberfest down in Oktoberfest celebration down in Malwick Park. All exciting events, all family-friendly events. Not obviously not encouraging large consumptions of alcohol, but drinking safely in moderation and enjoying yourself. So this resolution would authorize that temporarily for those specific events.
Thank you. And I neglected to mention in my comments that one of the local businesses that benefit from this is Hollow Brewery, and they're the ones that will be there at some of the shows. I'm not sure which ones yet, but we're working on that. So we'd like to support Hollow Brewery as much as possible. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 14, approving the endorsement and endorsing an application for the New York State Homes and Community Renewal for funding under the New York State Main Street Program. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Yes, Supervisor, that's my thought. Grant application.
They're back.
I had to turn the page. No, this is another application to that, but it's a whole different program. This is through the New York Main Street Program, and I have had the pleasure of working in this program. But it is one of the programs. In this particular instance, it is a Main Street grant, which is as it implies in restoration of buildings on Main Street. However, this is a more targeted aspect of that program is the anchor building Main Street program, which targets a specific property. In this case, it is a $500,000 grant request for restoration of the building at 102 Mohawk Avenue. And what an anchor building application does is it focuses those funds and restoration efforts on one building that is thought to be just that anchor project, that principal primary mover, if you will, of restoration on the corridor. We do this one building, hopefully then that will spread to other properties up and down the street. So that's what's trying to be done here. And again, this is our sixth, I believe, here tonight. And it's wonderful to see this level of participation. It just seems by a matter of sheer percentages.
Should get something.
Hmm.
We always do, though.
But no, again, in all seriousness, I really hope we're successful and there's a lot of work goes into these things. I know what it takes. And it's wonderful to see this level of
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please call the roll.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 15, authorizing the town supervisor to enter into an agreement regarding the Glenville Oktoberfest and Schenectady County support. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second? Moved in second. Any discussion?
Just to disclose, and if people don't know this, I am employed by the county of Schenectady, not in a legislative capacity. I had nothing to do with this, but happy to accept $1,000 on behalf of the town, along with I'm sure the rest of the board members. But I did just want to put that out there, that it's not in any way connected to the work that I do in Child Protective Services, but I am employed by the county of Schenectady.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution 16, authorizing the promotion of certain highway employees. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second? Moved and seconded. Just to start the discussion, as you can see on the resolution, there's been some movement within the highway department. Certain of our employees have been working out of class to provide the normal services within the department. And the highway department employees have performed admirably when asked to perform out of class duties. And the highway superintendent has recommended that current employees be promoted to backfill positions vacated through the resignation. And each employee recommended for the promotion meets the minimum requirements, including possession of appropriate class of New York State driver's license and other minimum requirements of the position. And so this resolution would, and as I should note, this town comptroller advises that the promotions are absorbed within the existing 2021 budget, and that we do have the promotion of the following individuals: Joseph Labrie to the position of medium, Spencer LeCarrette to the position of medium, Joseph Mitchell to the position of light, Patrick Buono to the position of light, and Matthew Traficante to the position of lights. So that's the resolution. Any questions or comments?
And I like the idea that we're promoting people in until the upper positions with people from the city department. I think that's like continuity of service, and that's what.
Yeah, I'd echo both of those sentiments.
I want to take a moment to congratulate those of you who are here and all being promoted. I also want to thank the leadership, Highway Superintendent Tom Capola, CSCA President Bob Kirkham, of course, working with Danny Van Heusen also on that in a leadership position within the union. And thank all the employees. There's been a lot of change. There's been a lot of things going on. And I know every day you come in to do your job, you do your job, and we very much appreciate that. And sometimes that's difficult. And I know some folks thought this was never going to get done. I gave my word that it would be done by the end of July, and I have a few more days. So we got it done. And I really do appreciate all the work that you guys do and all the work everyone did to get this, and particularly our town attorney, who you're going to hear from on the next resolution, and our town comptroller have all come together to work very hard to make this possible. So congratulations.
I want to echo that. I've been a town employee, and I know what it's like to have a town board that doesn't really care about what they're working. So that's why I came here. And thankfully, we do it.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution 17, authorizing the promotion of 2 employees to heavy in the Glenville Highway Department. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved in second. I got nervous for a minute. It's gonna. What I'd like to do is ask our town attorney to kind of just review this with the board.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. In the same realm as resolution number 16, this resolution has to deal with the promotion to MEO heavy. We have had highway department employees perform admirably when performing out-of-class duties as a result of a resignation. The highway superintendent has recommended that the MEO heavy position to be backfilled. Currently, the title of MEO heavy requires that an applicant possess the current appropriate level motor vehicle license issued by DMV at the time of appointment. Whereas by memorandum dated February 3rd, 2017, the highway superintendent has wrote that employees appointed to this title, the MEO heavy title must possess and maintain a class A. It's recommended that the current employees recommended to fill titles do not currently possess the class A driver's license, but will seek to obtain it within 90 calendar of this resolution. The current staffing needs require that the duties and responsibility be performed, and the appointment of the current employee that is recommended to fill the MEO heavy title will not be effective until 7 days following their obtaining of Class A license. It is recommended that while they're performing duties, except for those duties that require Class A, but they can paid out as title. And the comptroller has advised that the motion can be absorbed within the 2021 budget. So we're asking that for the resolution that the appointment of Jonathan Sheriff, Joseph Bassinger, to the position of MEO heavy be made effective 7 days following their obtaining a Class A license, which must occur within 9 days of the date of resolution. And in the event they don't obtain it, they won't be paid for any MEO heavy work after that date. They will be paid for out of tax title until such time.
Just to clarify, for the benefit of the people in attendance and watching the whole, MEO stands for motor equipment operator. You know, as you heard in a prior resolution, we had MEO light and medium, and now we're dealing with heavy, and that is kind of like the upper tier of operations of that heavy equipment. And that requires more skill and experience, and that's implied in medium and light, maybe less so, but these are the people who have demonstrated real ability in their work and operate those really heavy pieces of equipment, obviously, therefore very complicated, and you really have to have a high level of skill. As long as you're paying this level of skill.
Yes, the term heavy applies to the equipment, not the employee.
Right. Yeah. But
Any other questions? Yes, sir. Okay. So any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution 18, approving the minutes for the regular town board meeting held on June 16th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second? Moved in second. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
As noted, Mr. Supervisor, this resolution would approve the meeting minutes from the June 16th, 2021 meeting. And I would thank Ms. Niels and her staff for putting those together for us.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Two people and two votes. Okay. So, so I got the word from both ends here that, no, it's okay. We'll have to table 19 for now because some of the members, we only have 4 members and 2 of the 4 were not here for them. So they would not be able to vote for them, and 2 is not enough to pass a resolution. So we'll move that on to next week or, yeah, that's it. Next board meeting. So we'll move on to item number 20, resolution 20, approving the monthly departmental reports for June of 2021. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second? Moved in second. Any discussion?
As noted, Mr. Supervisor, this would approve the June 2021 monthly reports from all of the various department heads, and I thank them all for putting them together for us.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Last resolution is an add-on resolution number 1. And this one relates to the purchase of certain equipment for the highway department, and it's a gas storage, fuel storage tank. And do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved in second. I'm going to call on our town attorney again to talk about why there's a change from what was bid out to what we're actually purchasing.
So back in December, the board has passed the resolution 217-2020, accepting the low bid to American Petroleum Equipment Construction Company in an amount of $174,900 with a contingency of not to exceed $7,825. 50% of soil being covered for the purchase of one 10,000-gallon underground double wall fiberglass tank with a split of 5.5 per gallon capacity, which is to replace the existing 2 4,000-gallon underground fuel tanks, which have reached the end of their useful life. That was the sole bid at the time. However, we become aware through American Petroleum that there's been an extensive delay in the delivery of the tank because of a resin shortage. which is due to the pandemic. So the American Petroleum has said that they currently maintain a stock of 12,000 gallon tanks with a split of 5,000 and 7,000. It's been recommended, or the cost, the increased cost for the 12,000 gallon with 5,000, 7,000 split is $8,593.76. The Commissioner of Public Works recommends that we move forward with this. Moving forward with the purchase of 12,000 gallon tank at 5,000, 7,000 split, with the increased cost again of about a little less than $8,600. We've reviewed this cost and recommend that it move forward. We've also reviewed it in regards to public bidding. Due to the circumstances, it's sold bid originally, and it's essentially a change order due to a lack of a product with minimal increased cost. We are asking the board to allow the supervisor the authority to sign the amended contract with American Petroleum Equipment and Construction Company for the increased cost of $8,593.70.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on that?
Yeah. I waited. Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, we waited months for a couch, so I hear you, Councilman Aragosa. It is, and you're seeing it more and more with more delays, and you're seeing labor shortages. It's an interesting wrinkle to the back, what is hopefully the back end of this thing.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. We'll move on to our final item tonight, new business. I'll start on my left with Councilman Galuski.
Just a quick plug for a fundraiser. Councilman Aragosa had mentioned some of the work he's done with Bethesda House. They've been fantastic as an organization throughout the pandemic and assisting folks here and around our community. They're having a fundraiser at Wolf Hollow. Also, Supervisor Ketzley mentioned Wolf Hollow. August 12th, 5 to 8. Cost is $25. They're going to have live music. Your ticket includes a drink token. So it's always it's a great, Wolf Hollow is a great venue for a fundraiser. And like I said, these folks have been really good community allies during the course of this pandemic. And that's all.
Thank you. Councilman Martin.
Yeah, I just want to know, I was interested to read the article of the business review about the new barrel maker.
Yes.
Coming on Q5.
Yes.
Not heard. What's the word for that?
Cooperage. You've not heard of a cooperage?
No, I haven't.
You're not a bourbon drinker then. You must not care about how to make bourbon.
Yeah, it's very good to see that business come to the community, particularly in line with the plan intended for that corridor to make it that kind of natural resource based, with what was the maple used there before, Wolf Hollow being there and the distillery and all that. Good to see that kind of complementary use come back and great to see such a unique business.
My wife and I, just as an aside, went to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, as you know, and on that tour, we stopped at a cooperage. And it is a very neat operation. And he's going to open it up, as he explained to me, to folks coming into a tour and watch how they make the barrel.
Although I'm not a bourbon drinker directly, I do enjoy bourbon ale.
Yeah.
That's a lower
I-
class of a bourbon.
I just want to point out that this is again something myself and Councilman Martin we can find mutual agreement. I also enjoy beer that has gone through, sat in the bourbon tanks. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Surprising. Councilman Aragosa. Oh, thank God. I thought we were going to get into scotch or something. I only just want to point out one quick thing, actually just really two quick things, because Councilman Martin talked about it. You know, this sheet is a sheet of many of our active grants. And there's so much, you have to do it on one of these big pieces of paper. There's a lot going on in this town. There's a lot. And you go down through here, there's $8-9 million of stuff in the pipeline that we're looking to get and looking to work on. And it's everything from our stuff in our parks to stuff for road reconstruction, for the fifth well and meters, the small businesses. It just goes on and on and on of all the things that we're trying to get done in the town. It's a very active town. I think we do very, very well in our grants. We've always gotten a lot of grants. I think that's a mark of the good work that our staff and the folks we work with, Barton LaJudas. And as you know, and I know we had discussions about this last year in the budget funding, that comes out of a fund that some folks wanted to cut here, that we need to pay for professional services to get this stuff done. This can't all be done on one person in one department. I wanted to update our climate smart community school sidewalks. As you know, the Sackandog Elementary path is complete. That is huge. Folks are very excited down there about that. We are currently in final design for the Lake Hill Road at O'Rourke Middle School. Melissa and I met with residents and the designer, the engineering firm on that. So we'll be having that going forward very shortly. And in all pause, we're just patiently awaiting the county's work with their engineering firm. As you know, we're funding it through this program, but the county has offered to take on the design phase, and we're just waiting for that to occur. So I wanted to update you on those grants. Stay tuned, there's more coming on those grants. And the last thing I just wanted to, under the report, my supervisor's report, I should have talked a little bit about, and I slipped my mind till now, but it's 50 Cypress. As you guys probably read in the paper today, Melissa and I and Arnie and Sergeant Green and some others, Chad Bowman, met with the residents on Cypress and within that whole Berkeley Square, St. Stephen's area, because of the concerns that are coming out of what's happening at 50 Cypress, which, as you all know, is in the Field Christian Academy property now. And it was a very good meeting, a 2-hour meeting, and I think we did a fairly decent job at getting people to understand the challenges we have before us and what we're looking to do and all the things we're trying to do. One of the things we're trying to do is to find grants to help the school do something with the building. There's no question there's a problem, and there's no question that something needs to be done. But the municipality's hands are very much tied in what can be done right now. We are working very closely. We have been working very closely with the school and with the neighbors on that. But we are pursuing different ideas and different programs. One of the things that I spent a lot of time on is going out finding solar opportunities, because that's what the residents said they wanted. And we had 2 solar developers look at it. It's a 39-acre parcel. The problem is that there's wetlands along the perimeter, and with the setbacks, it goes from 39 acres to about 20 acres, and the economics just was not there to support it. The problem is the economics of the property is about 1.5 million just to get the property and get the building down and get it to start. That's not including any of the other things you're doing to actually put something there. So you've got a lot of hard costs that are very expensive that project has to carry to make it work. So solar wasn't possible. We are pursuing, as we talked about last night, with the with the landowner, potentially a single family project. Wasn't a great reception, I don't think, at the meeting on that one, but it is a single family neighborhood. So it would seem to reason that single family houses would be the next logical thing there. There's a lot of talk about what the town could do with the park, but as I explained to them, with $1.5 million just to get the property and clean the property, and then you have another $1 million probably to get your fields in and to get all the things you want to do for a park. The town can't afford a $2.5 million park. Just can't do it. I mean, you're not going to sell it to the taxpayers. And so we're kind of in this tough area right now where we're in a unique situation where the economics just make it very difficult. Our police are doing a phenomenal job that was acknowledged, keeping an eye on it the best they can. I talked to Sergeant Green today. They were there today and they found kids in there today. The very next day from the meeting, and the thing that just has to be kind of acknowledged at some point is the kids came from the neighborhood. So that's something I think the folks in the neighborhood have to start thinking about and figuring out how they are watching their own kids. So I just wanted to update everybody on that as to where we are, and the saga continues. We're working on it, but we're doing all we can, and we'll continue to stay at it. And hopefully we'll find a grant that will help us get there. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that.
A second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.